explore how to add and subtract imaginary numbers. Okay, so let's look at an example real quick, because I think a lot of us made it way too difficult for us on the exam. So for example, let's say we have 3x plus x. Well, what is that? Well, that's just 4x, right? 3x plus x is 4x. So if you have something like this, let's say 3 square root of 2 plus the square root of 2. Well, that's just, there's like basically like a one invisible one there, right? Basically like an invisible one there. So I'll leave it there, right? We're just adding it. We treat the square root of 2 just like an x. We treat the square root of 2 just like an x, just like a variable. So over here we had 3x plus x equals 4x. So over here we're going to get 3 times the square root of 2 plus 1 times the square root of 2. It's going to be 4 square root of 2. All right? So you can literally see when we're adding or subtracting radicals, it's no different than with the variable, right? Let's say we had 5 square root of 3 minus 2 square root of 3. Well, that's, let's change this up to 3 right there. So we have 5 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 3. Well, that's just going to be 2 square root of 3. All we're doing is just subtracting it, just as if this problem was 5x minus 3x. It would just be 2x, right? All right, so let's go ahead and look at imaginary numbers. So let's say we have a problem like this. 3 plus 4i plus 2 plus 7i. Okay. Well, all we do here is we just group all the real numbers together, and we just group all the imaginary numbers together. We just combine like terms, just as if we would have done with any problem. So, right, we'll put this 3 plus 2, okay, plus, all right, the 3 plus 2 are right here. I just put them together because it's just adding, right? It doesn't matter if I have, for example, if I have 2 plus 4 plus 3, 2 plus 4 is 6, 7, 8, 9, right? This is 9. Well, if I have 3 plus 2 plus 4, it's 9. It doesn't matter which order I have it in. We still get the same answer, right? So that's kind of the idea here, is I'm just going to put all the real numbers together, the 3 and the 2, and then plus, well, the 4i plus 7i. So my final answer is just going to be 5 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11i. And that's literally my final answer. Well, let's look at an example problem that involves subtracting, all right? Let's say we have 3, let's say minus 2i plus 3 plus 7i. I'll do 7i again, right? Well, like we did before, I'm going to put the numbers together. So 3 plus 3. Okay. Then over here, we're going to get the minus 2i, right? So the 3 plus 3 come from here. The minus 2i comes down here. And then we get the plus 7i, right? Well, 3 plus 3 is 6. And then we get this here is going to become negative 2i plus 7i. Well, that's just going to be plus 5i, and that becomes my final answer. All right, well, let's look at another example problem, right? Maybe one that tripped us up a little bit more on the exam. So let's say we have 3, plus 10i minus 2 minus 10. Now let's do 11i. Okay. Well, now we have to be careful here, right? So here we're subtracting. Right, here we're subtracting, but you can think of this negative right here, right? This negative here like a negative 1. And before we go to do anything, right, so we need to make sure that we take into account the negative. So we're going to get 3 plus 10i. So let me just write it, 3 plus 10i. Minus 2, right? Well, this negative and the 2 is just negative 2. So minus 2 minus negative 11. Well, negative minus negative 11, the two negatives turn into a positive, right? So we're going to get plus 11i. All right, just think about a problem like this. 2 minus negative 3, right? Well, this becomes 2 plus 3. because the negative and the negative turn into a positive. So same thing over here. Right, this is minus 2. Well, the 2 is already positive, so minus 2 is just going to be the negative 2 here, minus 2. And then the minus negative 11 here, well, that turns into a positive, right? Now, like the other problem, I'll put all the numbers together. So 3 minus 2 plus what we have, 10i plus 11i. And so finally for this problem here, we're going to get 1 plus 22i. And that's my final answer. I'm done. All right, so hopefully we see here just adding and subtracting, whether it's radicals or whether it's with imaginary I, when we have the I here, right? It's no different than combining like terms. We just put all the real numbers together, the imaginary, and just simplify and solve, right? So hopefully I didn't go through this video too fast, and it was useful to help you understand what to do.